Hello, and thank you for listening to the first episode of Stinker Madness. I am your host, Justin. With me is Sam. How are you, Sam?
I'm good.
And with us also is Jackie. How are you, Jackie?
Well, I'm doing just fine.
Oh, good. Nice that you add a little silly business on the end of there.
Hey, I just watched
Southern flair.
Yeah.
the Dallas Buyers Club, so all right.
Oh, brother.
Does he do that in the movie?
No, he doesn't do that in the movie.
Because that would be insane.
He doesn't McConaughey out at all.
You'd have to, not be McConaughey to win the Academy Award if you're him.
Yeah. His acceptance speech, though, I heard, got a little McConaughey.
I thought he did all right, for the Golden Globes anyway.
I think he talked about, some metaphysical bullshit as well during it, so...
How he met the Supreme Being when he was high as shit.
Yeah.
Outside of a fountain with pants on.
Comparing his car keys to how you make the world right or something.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. But anyways, Stinker Madness. So here we are, the podcast for all things stinkerish. I wrote a little blog post today on the website, which is stinkermadness.com, about what a stinker is. Because it's not just a bad movie, in my opinion. Because there's bad movies that are unviewable, like, for instance, After Earth.
After Earth is something that everyone should see. Because it's awful.
A bad movie. There's no redeeming qualities in it at all. Whereas a stinker has at least one thing that it did right. For instance, The Room is a hideously horrible movie, but it did one thing right, which was its marketing. Whereas you go see The Room at a theater, you get Wiz Al throwing you footballs, and you get to have Wiz Al, period.
Period, yeah.
And so that was my definition of a stinker. So that's what we're about, is movies.
And don't forget the great one-liners that come out of these things.
Oh, absolutely. One-liners are...
It's starring me upon Justin!
Right, yeah. You get
to... You guys haven't seen Sniper Reloaded, which I think is the fourth film in the Sniper series. It doesn't have Tom Berenger. It only has Billy Zane, but it's full of
chock full
of one-liners.
Yeah, one-liners are always good, and that's where you get a lot of material from stinkers. Whereas bad movies, you don't get one-liners. You just go, ouch, owie, ow, this hurts, stop it. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference between us and maybe a bad movie blog. We're about
entertaining
bad films. Yeah, that's what a stinker is. So, basically how things are going to work is we will do a mini episode and lay out what we'll have for the main episode, which, unfortunately, there's no schedule, so if you're listening, don't anticipate anything. It's one of those when we feel like doing it things, so if we get hate emails... Actually, if we get emails at all, that is fine.
Hooray!
So we'll do a brief introduction episode to the upcoming movie of the week to watch, and then the next episode we'll break that movie down and we'll kind of dig into the meat and potatoes of it, per se.
And just revisiting the idea of hate emails, if you send a hate email, I will send you back a digital signed headshot of myself smiling.
Ooh.
Nice. No prize.
Thank you.
Official no
Thank
prize.
you for a death threat. I'm just glad that someone's listening.
If you do want to communicate with us, we also have a message board, a forum on the website at Stinker Madness, so you can suggest upcoming episodes for us to watch, movies. You can
put in your 2 cents, hear it on the
podcast. You could tell us that we missed something, or that we were wrong about something, or if you just really want to comment on a movie that we did, or...
But hate threats are our favorite.
Hate threats we love. As long as it doesn't involve, rape threats. I'm not really down with my beehole getting raped. That's just creepy.
Cutting my head off and shitting down my throat hole is fine.
Yeah, but...
As far as sexual aggression, I'm not really into that.
Yeah, lay off my beehole. Yeah. So... Oh, yeah. And believe it or not, there's also a section for good movies, because I also like recommendations for good movies.
Oh, yeah. Llewyn Davis. Just watched that on Thursday. Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
Maybe their best movie.
Huh.
I'm not saying that lightly.
That's bold, man.
Yeah.
That is cool. Anyways, next we have we're just going to do a segment here and there because a lot of people really like Netflix nowadays, and basically everybody has it, and it's the only thing people ever watch ever is instant streaming Netflix anymore. So some Netflix do's and don'ts on stinkers. Either of you guys seen anything good lately?
So other than the ones that you had, I had listed. For those of you who are the big fans, because apparently James Purefoy has quite a fan following.
He does.
Yeah, he was in Rome.
No,
He's
just
been in
cut
some
right to
other
the
stuff.
sword movie. Berserker!
Yeah. No, that was not the one I was talking about. Solomon Kane, which was fun, too. Solomon Kane was fun. Ironclad wasn't very fun.
Ironclad sucked.
Ironclad was kind of lame. But Berserker doesn't have him in it. It's just a sword movie that's real good. It makes absolutely no sense.
I didn't get to watch Berserker.
But the pieces that they put together make the film kind of funny and interesting. I laughed a lot.
Oh, it's a laugh riot, especially because halfway through I just started laughing because I didn't understand what they were doing. I just lost sanity in the film because it was just like, what? We're in the future now? What the hell just happened?
And you got to know that when you go to the future with a
no,
sword
I
movie
saw
and there's
Berserker.
trash
Watched it the next
everywhere.
day.
Yeah, I watched it the next day. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Like, didn't they go
Because it's like half of the movie is like in Viking times, and all of a sudden you're like
Science
on some
lab.
street corner in like
Yeah, but-
Detroit.
Wasn't it like every fight scene they had to get wet?
Yeah.
Like every time there's
Even when they went to the
combat,
bar,
you have
like,
to get wet.
Oh, you can't rain on them. They're inside. So somebody sets off the fire alarm
as a distraction.
and then
I'm so
everybody's
distracted.
fucking wet again.
Whereas like all the dancing people went apeshit as soon as the sprinklers went off because we're wet now.
It was like in Blade or whatever before they realized it was blood.
I guess.
I'm thinking like shot to
Berserker
shot,
was awesome.
Berserker
Yes,
was doing that.
everybody should give Berserker a go. I've got a couple do's if you're ready.
I was gonna, before we get out of mine, Strike Force, because that one's gone off and on of Netflix, and it is originally titled The Librarians.
Yeah, not to be confused with Edison Force.
And they're the librarians because they find people.
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense,
No.
but it's William Forsythe, Erica Eleniak, who is, of course, the tits from the cake in Under Siege.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bernhardt, who's one of the more underrated martial arts stars. And that movie is haywire from start to finish.
And
Burt Reynolds has a cameo in it. I forgot about Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds. As Irish.
Yeah.
Hey, he's rocking the mustache.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Edison, Strike Force is fun. There's lots of men getting exploded through the air in that movie. Like if somebody was to shoot that gun at another person, the person getting shot would not fly through the air quite as much. Actually, probably not at all. But there's lots of like, oh, I just got shot. Now I get launched 20 feet in the air because of it. There's just men bodies flying everywhere in that movie. It was
Not quite as much as Last Man Standing. Did you ever see that?
No.
Everybody that gets
Bruce
shot...
Willis?
Yeah, everybody that gets shot flies 30 feet backwards.
Huh.
It is so bad.
We might have to put that
Oh,
on the
yeah,
to-do
I would
list.
watch that. Well, here's how bad it is. It's one of Mac's favorite movies.
Oh boy, that's real bad. We should also get Mac on the show as a special guest, like
to
this
like
week,
justify
Mac
why he
Christian.
like
And he doesn't
genuinely
understand
loves the movie or whatever.
The show's called Stinker Madness. He thinks that it's like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about really good movies and just laugh the whole time. Mine are Trespass with Nick Cage and Nicole Kidman. It was not good enough to make an episode, but
Yeah, it's just
watch
worth
it,
watching, especially.
and then look up the information on IMDb, the trivia behind it, because it's amazing how bad that movie is.
And knowing full well that Joel Schumacher directed it.
Yeah, well, that's a statement, because
And that it's bad for a Joel Schumacher
was
movie.
that. I mean, obviously, it was like 2 years ago that movie, 2011. So, did he do anything between Phantom of the Opera and?
Yeah, he did
this?
a couple of things.
Anything that we would have ever heard of?
I believe Tigerland was in between, and that's like one of the only movies I've ever seen of his that I actually liked.
Huh.
So he's got two that are... Like, he did DC Cab, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he may have.
I know he did Batman Forever.
That was awful.
That was real bad.
All right, moving
And
right
Batman
along
and
here.
Robin. Oh,
We're
sorry.
moving right along.
It's a show about movies. Come on. Brain Smasher with Andrew Dice Clay and
Terry Desperate Housewives.
Superman, Lois Lane. What the hell was her name? Terry Hatcher. Terry Hatcher. Yeah. Brain Smasher.
Brain Smasher was awesome.
It was fun. I gave it a.
Again, it's not worth an episode, but it's definitely worth a view.
Yeah, it was.
It's not quite the following. I know a couple of people that are really big on that movie.
And then Heatseeker was amazing.
Both of which were directed by Albert Pune.
Right. Yeah.
Albert Pune, usually Albert Pune will
fantastic.
Do you right.
If you want to see some guys, cyborgs getting punched in the face so that they can't work anymore, I don't know. It's great. Don't do Attila. Don't do Shakma.
Ooh, Shakma had a humping monkey, though.
I think you should do Shakma.
Humping monkey and Shakma.
He had a boner through the whole thing.
It's borderline, but it was
until they got the monkey to attack things. Hump that door, monkey!
Yeah, it's a baboon, by the way.
How does that work again? It really was a door-humping monkey. Yeah. So, maybe you should do Shakma. Yeah, alright, do Shakma.
Do Shakma.
Yeah. If you have nothing else to do. Prototype, don't do. Never do Prototype. It was terrible.
In the defense of Prototype, I would say that if you're a fan of the movie Hardware, which I am not, but a lot of people are,
I don't think so.
I would give Prototype, which Prototype X29A is, I think, the Netflix name. I would give it a shot if you like that movie, but there's a sort of rare and distinct breed of people that like Hardware.
I really don't.
Has a following, I'm telling you.
Whatever, man.
Roman likes Hardware.
Huh. Oh, was that one guy makes a following?
He would probably like Prototype X29A.
It was real bad.
It was real bad.
Adrenaline for the Rush with Natasha Henstridge and... or Fear the Rush.
Fear the Rush and Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert, yeah. Captain Care.
Wasn't as caring, but still caring.
Yeah, still very caring. He just didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to
because he was getting... He got shot like 9 times or
50 times.
I was starting to fall asleep when he got on his 11th bullet strike. He'd been struck by 11 bullets, and I was like getting tired.
Yeah, and a couple arrows, I think, too.
Just
and he got exploded.
He did get exploded.
And then Condor with Ray Wise and a bunch of... Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince was in it. But it was a failed TV pilot.
I think that you should do Condor.
It's kind of a toss-up.
It's borderline.
It's borderline.
If you know full well that it's a pilot... It's kind of fun to watch just because you get that whole... You can see what they were trying to make work for 80s television, and that's kind of entertaining.
And it takes place in, like, 1994 or something. It's one of those movies, and everything is, like, way futurized, and none of it makes any sense. It's actually... The future inventions are less convenient than just doing it the old way from 1985. Just real bad future telling.
And that it's also... I mean, it's almost viewable just because you want to watch all the tries at Robot Cop the show.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
It is one of the failed Robot Cop the show.
Yeah.
So you got to give it a shot just for that.
Just like our dearly departed, potentially dearly departed Almost Human, which all three of us were big fans of. But
is it officially canceled?
No, but I don't know. But
I'm thinking it's canceled.
I'm assuming it's canceled.
And I'm just saying, if you do have a futuristic movie that does not take place where everybody reverts back to barbarianism, you should probably post that on the comic board, because I have yet to see a futuristic movie where we didn't fall back into everybody's got a crappy car and a dune buggy.
No, you should check out...
flying in the air in the desert.
Oh, we should put A Boy and His Dog.
A Boy and His Dog, yeah. There's no cars in that.
No. Yeah, it's not even... It's post-apocalyptic with an orgy. Like, orgy people. It has nothing to do with falling back on barbarian times. It's post-apocalyptic is the time to do it. It's awesome.
Then underground, everybody dresses like fucking Raggedy Ann and
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Weird.
I love Boy and
His Dog is a really good movie.
With Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. And Jason Robards.
Oh, yeah.
He's the mayor of Raggedy Ann and Andy Underground Town or whatever. That's Shelter Town.
Fun flick. No.
There's a gal.
That sounds like a really interesting
Vanishing
movie.
Point is kind of post-apocalyptic. Everything's a shithole, but there's still cops, and just everybody lives in shacks, essentially.
That's what I'm saying. All futuristic movies, everybody lives in like a shithole shack.
Well, because the world gets blown up.
Because it's cheap to shoot stuff
and
that way.
And it is cheap to shoot stuff that way.
That's why, there is actually post-apocalyptic movies that don't rely on that formula, but every budget movie...
Or I Am Legend, Omega Man.
Yeah, every budget movie relies on that formula
because Southern California looks like...
a wasteland.
A wasteland.
And they just recycle most of the same cars. Like the
And the cardboard boxes.
Yeah. And the naked
Don't pee
ladies.
on that, Frank. We're going to use that in next week's B movie.
Yeah, exactly. Same boobs in every movie.
We should be mentioned that Adrenaline Feel the Rush is the first Albert Pune movie that I've seen that was terrible and unviewable.
Yeah.
He's usually, Albert Pune as a director, usually he cranks out top-notch stinkers.
And Natasha Henstridge doesn't get them out.
Doesn't get them out.
Which, I mean, I don't really need to. I could
They're
just
talking about
imagine.
boobs, just in case you don't know what that means.
I could just imagine, but, you know.
I was actually refreshed, but I was planning on getting inundated with boobs that I know exactly what every contour looks like already from every movie that she's been in.
Yeah, because that doesn't make you sound creepy, like, at all.
No, you just, any Natasha Henstridge movie, by the end of Species, you're like, oh my god.
And
So if
I
you'd like a
can
date with
sculpt
Sam,
these
because he is
boobs.
single, post your phone number on the comment box with, you can analyze my boobs, Sam.
and say, tonight I'll be Natasha Henstridge, and the next week you can be Natasha Henstridge.
Sam doesn't have man boobs.
No, I'm just saying.
Don't let Justin fool you, ladies. Sam does not have man boobs.
Yeah.
Post your numbers.
Okay, moving on.
Before we move on, Attila, which we didn't even watch the whole thing, it was so bad. You shouldn't watch it, but you should watch the first 5 minutes of it.
Why?
Because it's so historically inaccurate.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, the historical inaccuracy is Attila the Hun as written by a 6-year-old.
And with 3 guys.
With 3 guys conquering
yeah.
everything. And then they're running around on foot punching
It
people.
looked awesome. Like, this is gonna get awesome. And
But
then it didn't.
It was terrible.
It was
every other Asylum movie that's shot in that same place. Like, you'd seen those trees 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, we're doing the same movie again. So that's
Again.
Again, yeah.
And then nothing happened. Like,
Nothing
at
happens
all.
in the Asylum movies. But it was the same thing as the Velociraptors and Casper Van Dien, shot in the same place, the whole deal.
There's some Casper Van Dien stinkers that I like by them.
Actually, Velociraptor
Can't think of one, but
was,
I'm sure
I
there
think it
is.
was called Velociraptor with him, but that was okay.
I'm just saying, with Attila, I watched the first couple minutes, and then it was like, all right, time to make nachos. This
Yeah.
movie sucks.
It did suck.
When
Speaking
the
of-
army people came out, it was like, oh,
My Netflix due that you guys didn't like was the Vector File with Casper Van Dien. I was enamored by that movie.
God,
That was so
that's
much
so-
fun.
that was so
because he was
stupid.
such a bad hero.
That was so stupid. Everything is summed up by the name of that movie.
The Vector File.
The Vector File.
And it wasn't a Vector File.
No, it wasn't a file at all. It
No.
was dot matrix printed.
Yeah, it was-
material.
hey, that movie wasn't... Okay, that movie was kind of shit, but it had some redeeming
I
qualities.
liked
Like
it.
what?
Like
I liked
the monogram on the beach.
Oh yeah.
And
Where he like just looks up and it's like, oh, and the camera lifts and then everything goes into this bullshit slow motion.
Yeah, and then
they
he was
find
able-
each other magically.
yeah, and then he was able to get to the beach house before everybody was murdered in like 2.5 seconds.
Wasn't there also like a tinge of jingoism in that movie? Like all the New Zealanders were kind of like, Casper Van Dien, you're all American, and you're suspicious because you're American.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
remember
that either.
him being like a mechanic to a satellite dish. Like he was the worst setup for a hero, and then didn't do a good job being a hero, but it
No.
all worked out in the end. And a fun fact is that lady and the daughter, that is his wife and stepdaughter in real life.
How nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. What a good job, Casper. I like Casper Van Dien.
I do too.
Anybody that doesn't
Actually,
like
he's
Casper
a
Van
fun
Dien
follow
can
on Twitter.
Kiss my ass.
Because he posts a bunch of angry selfies.
Nice.
All the time.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to check that out. All right, well, let's take a quick break so we can sell you some stuff. All right, set the scene. It's Friday night. You have no friends. You have no dates. All you've got is the crappy old internet and reruns of I Love Lucy. Well, guess what? There's a whole other world out there for you to explore in the entertainment revolution, and it's called Roku. You may have heard of it, but now it's time to get one of your own. The Roku player is like having your own video library at home with over 100,000 choices, from the best movies, TV shows, to sports. The Roku player is the easiest way to watch anything and everything from Netflix, Amazon Video on Demand, MLB.com, you can listen to tunes with Pandora, and more instantly on your TV. Heard of a little show called Game of Thrones? You can binge watch that with the HBO Go app from Roku. Want to listen to Stinker Madness sell you Roku players? On your own Roku player? Well, you can do that with the Blueberry Podcast app. How sweet and ironic is that? Now there's a Roku player to fit every budget, starting at $59.99. Just go to stinkermadness.com/Roku. That's ROKU. And take a look at what they've got for you. Speaking of bad movies, we're going to intro the movie for this coming next episode, which is Masters of the Universe, with Dolph Lundgren as
He-Man.
Sort of, but he's not.
He's Prince Adam, I think.
Prince Adam.
He's like the generic cereal at the supermarket.
They couldn't use He-Man or something like that.
It's supposed to be Lucky Charms, but it's Parrot Poopies.
Yeah,
and a young Courtney Cox.
Well, let's check out the trailer.
At the far end of the universe, there is a planet.
Oh, and Frank Langella is Skeletor too, which is really.
That guy looked like Darth Vader, but I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be the Snake
This
Man.
looks like Flash Gordon, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it had some producers in common with Flash Gordon.
A battle that will take them across the heavens. Stop him! A battle that will finally be fought.
I want them hunted down and brought.
This is like every good part in the movie. They're showing
I
in
know,
the
I'm
trailer.
like, wait a second, these are all the good parts that I remember.
They're not leaving anything to chance with you.
I like how the Skeletor has black stormtroopers, though.
I can never remember that bald guy's name. He's good.
Yeah, he is a character actor.
A lot of cop shows.
Nobody's gonna help you. This is He-Man in Manhattan now. Just so the viewers know, it started off in...
Listeners.
The listeners. It starts off
In
Eternia, and it's looking pretty sweet and badass, and now all of a sudden they're like, downtown Manhattan next to a flaming garbage can.
Yeah, dumpsters are on fire.
It got the budget pulled out from her and the rights to actual He-Man, so I mean, it did overcome some things to actually get made, but yes, it looks terrible, and I remember it being quite terrible.
It looks like they spent all the money on Skeletor's makeup.
Probably, because he doesn't look like Frank Langella.
Live the adventure.
And I just think that Frank Langella's an odd choice for that. Somebody
Meg
that's
Foster
very
is
distinctive.
Evelyn.
Yeah, Meg
Isn't
Foster.
Meg Foster somebody?
She's the red-haired gal in They Live.
With the weird eyes.
Permanent crazy eyes.
Yeah, permanent crazy eyes, that's right. Oh, yeah.
So I remember when I first started this movie, I was a little kid, and I loved He-Man and She-Ra. I mean, I was just like, I had all the action figures in the castles. I was all about it. And then this piece of shit came out, and I was so excited, and my parents, like, took us to the theater, and I'm like, that's not He-Man. Like, the costumes were all wrong. You kind of had to guess who the characters were supposed to be. All except for Skeletor, like, you knew
looks
who he
like
was.
Skeletor, other than he's glowing.
That's what I'm saying.
He's glowing a bit.
If you look at the trailer, it's
which you can view on our website at stinkermadness.com. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the trailer, it's like
All
all the
one
makeup...
word.
Shut up. All the makeup went to Skeletor, and then, like, He-Man, they're like, oh, shit, well, just string some garbage together and put it over his muscular chest. That'll work.
Well, you know, it's that you want less is more when you're dressing up a young Dolph Lundgren. You don't want to put hardly anything on that physique.
Well,
other than
he had more
other than his shitty blonde wig.
he had more.
And that wig looked like it had been through a couple of Halloween
He obviously
parties.
has more
Maybe
on
left
him
in a couple of whorehouses before they put it on him.
than actual He-Man was wearing, because the actual He-Man just
He
wore
seems to be wearing about the same amount.
No,
yeah, dude.
He had chest straps, whereas He-Man just had
Bandoliers and underwear. Hairy underwear.
Hairy underwear.
Yeah.
And then knee-high wrestling boots.
How do you suppose the underwear worked on He-Man's crotch? Because if you get the He-Man action figure, it looks like the hair is just kind of dangling in the front and the back, but there's not really a hairy part over the sack.
That's because it gets worn off from use.
Yeah, exactly. So he's
Riding around on
Battle
Cat.
Yeah.
So really, he's just wearing a loincloth that's hairy. He's not, a loincloth. It's not even a...
Well, I didn't notice in the preview if Dolph Lundgren actually had hairy pants on. I didn't see it.
I think that was just like black underwear.
Yeah,
that's
everybody.
unfortunate. Like
they got rid of all of the hair. There's no hair. The fur was all gone.
There should be.
And Tila was wearing silver tights.
Tila was in that?
Yeah,
I didn't catch that at all.
No, I saw Evil Lynn.
Jumps through the. There's like one part where she jumps through like a fence right in there.
You're right, and she
And
had all
Man-at-Arms
this silver
is in
crap
that.
on.
Yeah, she's got
and she
full
had
body
gold.
tights.
She was gold with red hair in
and she was wearing next to nothing. in the cartoon.
In the cartoon with
in
white
the cartoon.
underneath it.
Yeah.
And this lady was like blonde with a bad perm and some kind of light up space helmet.
Who directed
And she's
this?
like as tall as He-Man too. Like they found some really tall woman to play Teela.
Who was the director?
I don't know. You should look that up.
I will look that up because this is the wonders of doing a podcast is nobody can actually see what a wanker I am.
Just look it up on your phone. We just have to cover it.
Oh, also,
But
are you wearing pants?
I am not wearing pants.
I am not wearing pants.
I'm just saying, though, that when I watched this movie as a kid, I was so damn disappointed that I just went immediately back to the cartoon because I was like, that's not He-Man. And my parents were like, just sitting through the movie saying, eat your fucking popcorn and shut up.
I really feel like it fucked up one of my birthday parties.
No.
They actually say...
My parents are way too nice to actually say the fuck word, but it was pretty much...
The fuck word.
The fuck word.
They probably, just shoved popcorn in my mouth. I was kind of a chubby fat kid, so, it's like, just eat more Butterball and be quiet. We paid $8 for this movie.
Did you look who directed it?
My phone's locked up. It's not working.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what year. Because if it's like after 1986,
I would say 86.
Yeah, I would think like 88. If it was in that time period, I'm pretty sure that He-Man fucked up my birthday. Masters of the Universe was a birthday party.
Yes, I noticed that it wasn't called He-Man at all. It was just Masters of the Universe.
Here's what I have, is that I was kind of... By that point, I was 7 years old, so I was kind of off my He-Man binge by just a little, and I was much more interested in Transformers and G.I. Joe. And both of those just had their big cartoon movies come out.
Honestly, the cartoon movie of the Transformers was awful. It killed everybody. All the cool characters died.
Oh, yeah.
And then the whatever, Cybertron, your new heroes are these total wankers.
Yeah, they were total, we're future guys, but blah, blah, blah. Anyways... I came off of that, and I was like, oh my god, these movies are so cool, and then Masters of the Universe showed up, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of over my He-Man thing, but I'll let some fellas see it, and they can report to me. Everybody came back and said, it's shit.
Yeah.
And so I never saw it. I'm the only human on Earth that didn't see it.
No, there's a lot of people that didn't see it. I was just one of the idiots that went and saw it when it came out.
Oh, me too.
Well, yeah. So you guys have seen it. I have not. The only plot points I know is what you guys have told me that, and we saw it in the trailer.
I expect to laugh a lot during this movie. I mean, it's been 10 years since I've seen it. 10 years. Well, yeah, my parents owned a copy of it.
We had it on
I watched it. Yeah.
2004.
Okay, no, it's been longer than that.
No, okay, yeah, it's been longer than that. But I'm just saying, from what I can remember, I'm going to be like, yeah, go, in the very beginning, and then it's going to be like, and we're out of money, Manhattan scene, near the flaming dumpster, and I'm going to be like, what the hell is this?
Well, it was directed by Gary Goddard, whose filmography includes directing Masters of the Universe. That's it. That's his IMDb. That's the one thing he did.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I hope you get a dildo shoved up your butt, because that was an awful, awful movie, and you killed my childhood heroes!
He probably didn't have much of an opportunity to do anything else with it.
And if I remember correctly, it's not like Orko's at the end of that movie going, you know what, we learned an important lesson today. Don't ride speed cruisers through Manhattan, or you'll be shot by the police.
Did they have... Billy Barty was in it as some Orko-type character, but I don't think it was Orko.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I don't remember Orko being in this movie. I remember some weird little troll.
Yeah, that's Billy Barty.
Well, either way, that's the movie. You guys should watch it before we do. Unfortunately, it's not on Netflix. I totally did a bad thing and didn't check to see if it was on Amazon or...
you can pick up... I picked up a copy of it used for
You can pick up copies of it used, but should you? We don't know yet. We'll take the brunt of it.
I would.
Either way, try to get your hands on it before we watch it, and we'll get back to you on how bad it is, or how awesome it is, potentially. I just have one more thing. Wait.
She-Ra! Okay, I just have to throw that in there.
She-Ra.
She needs to have a few things thrown out.
Okay, there was no She-Ra movie.
But there was a Christmas special.
But hey, speaking of She-Ra, and what I'm going to talk about is the website fundanything.com. You can potentially pitch the She-Ra movie on fundanything.com. But that's not why I'm going to talk about it. Have you guys heard the thing with the guy?
I have not heard the thing.
No.
Well, there is a patent troll out there that is trying to shut down podcasts. Or he's not trying to shut down podcasts, but he's trying to... This company, this fake company that doesn't even exist, says that they have the patent on podcasting, and that everybody who ever podcasts and makes money off of it should give them a cut. Well, they don't exist. They're patent trolls. If you want podcast to keep going in the future and not have to deal with these assholes, which is what they're doing, is completely illegal. And I thought we had that taken care of with the government, but apparently the government's too busy raping the middle class to doing anything about it.
Go tax season.
Fundanything.com/patent troll. There you can donate whatever you want to donate to the cause. The cause is led by Adam Carolla himself. And any money you donate, you will get some cool swag back. But at the same time, it will also be going to help with the lawsuit for the attorney's fees and stuff. Because basically, Adam Carolla is having to finance his own his lawyers in the legal battle of this. He's the chief defendant, and he, at no point in time should he have to have had anything to do with it. You know, he's paying for it because he's the rich guy, but at the same time, you know, we all should pitch in a hand and help. So that's my plug.
Well, I'm Dr. Jackie.
Almost Dr. Jackie.
Almost Dr. Jackie.
By the time this airs, she probably will be.
Will be Dr. Jackie.
Yeah, she will probably be Dr. Jackie, but maybe not. Anyways, that's the end of the episode, and we should come up with a cool catchphrase like
"Don't get herpes."
It stinks.
It stinks.
Don't get herpes. It stinks.
It stings.
Actually, that should be it. Just have it end on Jackie laughing maniacally every week.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Bye.